All right, the deal is done, and the long Giannis Antetokounmpo saga is officially coming to an end. A source confirms that the Milwaukee Bucks have finalized an agreement with the Miami Heat to send Giannis down to South Beach. The particulars of this deal: the Heat, they will get Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis. The Bucks, they get Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Yakashonis, 3 first-round picks, including the 13th overall pick in this draft, a pick swap, and a second-rounder. This deal cannot be official until July 6th, so it's possible we could see the deal expanded to include multiple teams for cap reasons, but these are the primary assets going back and forth between these two teams. So let's unpack this, and let's do it by asking 3 questions. The first one is, did the Bucks get enough here? We all know Milwaukee's asking price was steep. They wanted a top young player, they wanted blue chip prospects, and they wanted draft capital. They were clear about this from the very beginning when they first started talking to teams last year before the trade deadline. In this deal, they got some of that. Tyler Hero is 26 and one of the best offensive guards in the league. He is from Milwaukee, so this is something of a homecoming from him, from the Milwaukee area, I guess, for as long as he sticks around. Hero is in the final year of his contract, and he'll be expecting a new deal some point in the near future. The Bucks may look to flip him for more assets as they continue this rebuild. The other players they got are pretty good. You know, Jaquez Jr. was the runner-up for Sixth Man of the Year. He is an inside the three-point line player, but a pretty effective one. Khalil Ware showed flashes of potential as a big man last season, but he did dip in and out of Eric Spoelstra's rotation in Miami. I really like Yakashonis. He was a flashy playmaker at Illinois. Good size, reminds me in some ways of a young Ricky Rubio. Played 53 games for the Heat last season, averaged 18 minutes. Great potential, I think, as a franchise point guard. I do think there's that potential there. I remember, Milwaukee, they lose control of their own pick after this year until 2031. So they don't have any real incentive to be bad over the next couple of seasons. Other teams own their draft picks, most notably the Portland Trailblazers. So I think they got some decent players back in return. The draft capital, look, Miami, they really wanted a top 5 pick in this draft. We know this draft is deep, has the potential for a franchise player. They didn't get that kind of draft pick. They will have to settle for having 2 late lottery picks this year. 2 picks that, quite frankly, they really need to hit on if they're going to accelerate this rebuild. And they're going to have to hope that Miami delivers another top player, top pick or 2 over the next couple of years. So for this trade, if we're going to do a grade, I would probably give Milwaukee a B+ on this deal. Miami, they did not hide their interest in Giannis one bit throughout this process. They were after him before the trade deadline. They were after him after the season, and they finally got him. But they gave up everything here, or at least they gave up everything that Milwaukee wanted. They gave up players, picks, future flexibility. It's all basically gone. They still have Bam Adebayo, who was the one untouchable on that roster. They do need to work something out with Andrew Wiggins, maybe get him to opt out of his contract and do a longer deal at a lower cap number, and have to find a way to use that money to bring back Norman Powell. Like, without those, subsequent deals, this trade is not going to mean a heck of a lot. After that, Miami's going to be scouring the free agent market for any guards, any wings that are available that want to come down and play in South Beach. I get why Miami did this. It's the Pat Riley way, and it's worked before. They've gone big game hunting and had success with it. But the history of teams that go all in for one player or 2 players is pretty checkered. I mean, Brooklyn went all in for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett more than a decade ago. That wound up setting up Boston for its future, for the foundation of its future. The Clippers, they gave Oklahoma City the foundation of its championship team with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and all the draft picks they gave up to go get Paul George. Miami is a great market. with a great coach, but if Giannis's recent injury history doesn't resolve itself, this has the potential to backfire in a really big way, where Miami could be giving draft picks over to Milwaukee that are extremely valuable and could put the Bucks in the same position the Celtics and Thunder are in right now. Now, about Boston, which was the runner-up in these sweepstakes. The Celtics, they were very disciplined in this. They were willing to part with Jaylen Brown. They were willing to part with a couple of draft picks. And that was really it. They were not willing to gut the team of its young players, of its picks, of its swaps. My understanding is that the Celtics would have gone a little deeper into its cache of assets to finalize a deal, to get it done. But it just wasn't going to be enough for Milwaukee, which just wanted the kind of deep package that Miami was willing to offer. I know there were some reports during the week that Boston was all in on the pursuit of Giannis. But as I said in this space on, Monday, I guess, I never got that sense. I never got that sense that they were all in terms of giving up whatever it took to go and get Giannis to play alongside Jason Tatum in Boston. As disappointing as this past postseason was, the Celtics, they are 2 years removed from a championship and won 56 games last year with that skeleton roster that they had with Jaylen Brown and a bunch of guys that overachieved. They have two prime superstars that are top 10, top 15 types of players who have won a title together. So the foundation is still there for Boston to be, in the mix to win the Eastern Conference next season if they can make some moves around the fringes. The question now, though, is how much damage has been done to their relationship with Jaylen Brown. This is the big one because this all kind of got out. Like, I don't think the Celtics wanted it out there that they were this aggressive in their pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo just in case something like this happened, so they could have maybe some plausible deniability about how hard they were going after Giannis and how real a Jaylen Brown trade was. But it was real, and it's not the first time that they have dangled Jaylen Brown in a trade. It's not the second time they have dangled Jaylen Brown in a trade. It's not the third time, not the fourth time. Like, you go back really since Jaylen Brown's first or second year, he has been in trade talks, whether it's for Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard. In 2022, it was Kevin Durant. And now in 2026, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can tell you, it's these trade talks over the years, most recently the last two, have really rubbed Jaylen Brown the wrong way. 2022, when they were talking about him for Kevin Durant, that was after Brown was part of the team that went to the finals, that was up on Golden State in the finals. He didn't like that one. This one, I bet he likes a lot less. I mean, he's coming off a year where he finished sixth for MVP, best season of his career, led this team to an improbable amount of wins during the regular season. Again, it didn't end well for the Celtics, but that had as much to do with the flaws of the totality of the roster that it does with Jaylen Brown. How does Jaylen Brown react to all this? Does Jaylen Brown go to the Celtics and say, you know what? You got us halfway there. Maybe now we finish the job. You find another place to deal me and you get back some other stuff that maybe works better for you. I think that's going to be a hard conversation, a series of hard conversations between Jaylen Brown and the Celtics in the days and weeks ahead. Because it's just yet another time for Jaylen Brown to find himself in the middle of serious trade talks, and you have to believe he didn't love hearing that. So a lot to deal with if you're Boston over the next couple of days and weeks. Still have a pick in this upcoming draft on Tuesday, so you've got to try to make something of that. Keep fleshing out the roster. Keep looking for more assets, more bigs. That's something the Celtics desperately need after last season, but dealing with Jaylen Brown is going to be priority number one for Boston as this offseason moves forward.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.